Welcome in, guys. It's my NFL Week 12 picks. Starting off with the Thursday night games, we had the Bills traveling to the Texans. And I know somebody in the comments did mention I got my picks wrong. The first straight out of the bat, I know I got my picks wrong on this one. But the Texans got a great win here at home. Fantastic, especially with the Bills. And again, this is where I'm having a problem with the Bills. It's realistically realistically, you should be beating the Texans with all due respect, and this is costing them. It has been costing them the last couple of years, where you know you your defense is kind of fucking up, and you're not finishing off these teams. You're not beating teams like the Dolphins. You should be beating the Texans. I know the Texans have not done too bad recently, but you should be really beating the Texans, but this is the problem, and then. Will Anderson was great though in this game. He had 25 sacks. You had David. I mean, yeah, the Texans were playing Davis Mills. They weren't playing C.J. Stroud. Davis Mills, second string quarterback here. Um, Davis Mills had 16 out of 30 throws, 2 touchdowns, and the Texans win 23-19. Moving on to the. Moving on to the Vikings and the Packers here. Again, Vikings and Packers, both of them are not having the best of years. You think, well, Michael Parsons come in, he's going to get us his championship. Isn't the case, because the Packers win 23 to 6, and you had Emmanuel Wilson who got on the board, which was great. But again, it's just a transition year for the Packers, transition year probably for the Vikings. I mean, again, you would expect more for the Packers, but then we had the Colts traveling to the Chiefs. Now, this was a really exciting game. The Colts are flying this year. Chiefs are 5-5. Chiefs reeling after that defeat to the Broncos on the road. The Rose at home for this game, and you had the likes of Pittman Jr. and Ogtree getting on the action, but ultimately it was in overtime and a field goal for the Chiefs to win 23-20. Now they're 6-5. And again, you look at the Colts again. If you said to a Colts fan beginning of the year, you're going to be like 8-3, they would have ripped your head off for that. Like, especially with the last couple of years. But yeah, they especially looking at the Colts. They're going to take some teams by surprise this season, especially in the playoffs, and just keep watching out for the Colts. It's fantastic. Then we have the Patriots and the Bengals. Again, this is another team. Like, you look at really coaches of the year. You've got to look at Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel's got to be the coach of the year, in my opinion. You look at the team that he came into. Now, this team, the last 2 years, the Patriots, well, especially under the last season under Belichick and that disaster of a year under Jared Mayo, where there was 3-11 and 3-12. Vrabel's come in here to the Patriots and basically again starting Trayvon Henderson. Imagine if he started him the last early few weeks of the season, what this Patriots team could have been like. They're 10-2 now, 10-3, something like that. They're absolutely dominating the AFC. Definitely going to be your AFC East winners and catching up to the Bills. The Bills have been not capitalizing on the Patriots' downfall a couple of years, but now they're back. They're doing pretty well here. Again, they got a great win here against the Bengals on the road, 26-20, and you've got to ask the questions going to be asked now of Zach Taylor, like. Are you gonna keep it after this season, or is he gonna have to go? You're gonna have to have that conversation now. There's 3-11 now, or whatever they are. But yeah, they're just absolute dust fight. They've got Joe Flacco as a quarterback. It's not looking good. And I know Joe Burrow's gonna be back for next week's game. Then we had the Seahawks and Titans. And then the Seahawks again. They've had a really good year as well. They got an impressive win here against the Titans. Titans 33-24. And you know what, Titans fans, just keep on tanking, baby. You'll get your again if the Titans get their shit together and actually maneuver well in the draft next year. This is where they could be where the Patriots are next year if they get their shit together and if they see what they have in Cam Ward and they get some weapons around Cam Ward, some protections around Cam Ward in the second in the offensive line and they improve that defense. You could be looking at the Titans next year as a playoff contending team next year. But yeah, good win here for the Texans. Then we had the Jets traveling to the Ravens. Ravens get the job done here, 23-10. It was a good day for Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson as they got a great win at home. And then Jacksonville here again. You're looking at Jacksonville. People are mocking Liam Cohen at the beginning of the season, going, "Duval." Yeah, I know he's an absolute asshole, but he's got this. He's got the Giants playing fantastically well here. I know it was in overtime when they won this game from Parker Washington, 27-24. But again, it's a good win, especially on the road in the AFC East in the AFC. Jacksonville are kind of sneaking up here as potential. They could take some teams by surprise this year. Well, they in the playoffs, I mean. Then we had the Steelers versus Bears football, and yeah, I mean, the Bears they're not playing the best. Now that is granted that they're not playing the best. They got the job done here, 28-31. Brian Move got got a touchdown in this game for the Steelers, and then you had DJ Moore, who had 2 touchdowns in this game. Again, you probably are going to move on from DJ Moore at the end of the year, but he did fantastically well in this game as well. TJ Watt, got himself involved. Montez Sweat as well. But the Bears are 8-2 now. I hate saying this, but they're actually doing well. They may be playing Bears football, but they're winning teams. But ultimately, I think that when they come up against a team, especially if they come up against the Ravens, or they come up against the Bills, or if they come up against maybe the Patriots this year, I do think they're going to get heavily exposed, and the reality is going to set in at some point. Yeah, it's a great win that you beat the Steelers, but again, they're the Steelers. They're not going to do shit this year. It's the same rinse and repeat kind of with the Steelers. It's like Mike Tomlin doesn't get a losing record in the regular season, but he stinks the place up in the fucking playoffs, and that's what's gonna happen with the Steelers. But the Bears, yeah, keep bearing down, bitches. And then we got the late games here. We had the Browns, Shedeur Sanders making his NFL full debut against the Raiders. Good win here. Again, Shedeur didn't have a bad game. Again, he threw for 209 yards. 1 interception, 1 touchdown. He had 11 on the 20 throws, so he didn't do too bad. The Browns got a good road win, and yeah, you're seeing what's gonna happen with Shedeur now. And then we had to again. I covered the Jackson Lights earlier, so I'm just gonna go through it real quick. But again, the Giants dominated the Lions for most of the game, and then we won in overtime to win 34-27. Jared Goff had 279 passing yards, 29 out of 42 throws, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jahmyr Gibbs had 2 touchdowns and 15 carries, and we just got over the line in overtime. Then we had the Buccaneers and the Rams, and then you've got to look at the Rams. Like the Rams, especially if you're looking at an MVP candidate for this year, if you're looking at like a Derrick Henry, or maybe you're going to look at Matthew Stafford as an MVP candidate this year, because again, he had a really good game today. Sunday he had 25 out of 35 throws, 3 touchdowns, 273 passing yards, and the Buccaneers won 34-7. They absolutely destroyed the Rams here. The Buccaneers. And then we go to then we had the Falcons and the Saints. Falcons win here 24-10. It wasn't really much going on. Again, you got Kirk Cousins and title shot going at it. Who cares? And then let's go to the Monday. Oh no, then we did. Oh, Eagles and Cowboys. Yeah, we had the Eagles and Cowboys. And then look at the Eagles here. They were absolutely dominating the Cowboys defense here, 21-24. And George Pickens, I know, got himself a conversion here, but yeah, you're looking at it again. The Cowboys that start putting them again. The NFL has to put the Cowboys on the 4:25 or the primetime game. The narrative's out, the fucking narrative. But yeah, this is a good win for the Eagles, oh man. And then the last game of the week was the Panthers on Monday night. Bryce Young and the Panthers. They haven't been playing bad. They haven't been playing bad. They haven't been playing bad the last couple of weeks. And then the 49ers here, they've got their shit together recently. You got Jennings and stuff on the board. And then the 49ers win 20-19. And that is my recap for week 12, and it's 11. For week 12, leave you guys thoughts in the comments, and I'll be back in a couple of days to do my picks for week 13. Oh, and my winners and losers, I forgot about the winners and losers. Winners, so my winners and losers for the week. Winners, you got to go for the Bears. I know the Bears are winning kind of not very convincing, but they're getting the job done. And Ben Johnson's, you've kind of seen what Ben Johnson's trying to implement with his Bears team. Seahawks, the Seattle are again doing fantastically well in the NFC West. And then the Texans, they got a great win on Thursday night against the Bills. The Rams, again, looks like the Rams are getting back to their old selves, their old where they were a couple years ago. And Matthew Stafford's having a fantastic year. And the last two here, I want to say, I'm going to put the Jacksonville Jaguars because, yeah, a lot of people mocking Liam Coen beginning of the year. And, being an absolute, being an idiot. But he's got Jacksonville playing well. They're 8-3, 8-2, something like that. And then, I'm going to put the Lions in there because, again, we actually, we won the game and we actually kind of got through this week and actually won the game. But, yeah, losers for the week, the Raiders. Again, you're looking at the Raiders. Who thought it was a great idea to hire 74-year-old Pete Carroll and think ultimately things were going to go right? When you look at the Raiders the last 23 years, they've never been in a championship winning window. And they have a really bad roster, apart from Genty and Brock Bowers. But apart from those guys, the Raiders are a dumpster fire, and they think that Pete Carroll's going to be the savior of this organization. The team's going to be the way it's going to be because Mark Davis, the Nepo baby that is, and his stupid haircut that he has, is still the owner of this team. If he sells the team, they may improve, they may not, but